Hi, this is Janey, Imaani, and welcome to Emotional Awareness. Yes. Okay, so for today's episode, we'll be answering another question, so let's take a look at what it is. Dear Janey, Imaani, I have so many dreams and so many ideas that I want to pursue, but I feel as though I don't have the time or the energy after taking care of the kids and the housework. Most of the time, I feel so exhausted after doing my chores that chasing after my dreams feels like a far-fetched idea. I don't understand how you manage to run a private practice and a YouTube channel while being a mother. Can you please help me understand how I can regulate my time better? Okay, so this is a really good question because it's been, I've been meaning to talk about this subject for quite a long time now. And so the question is really about how do we balance parenthood or motherhood while trying to pursue our own careers. So the person asked me, how do I do it? I really don't, and there's no way I believe that I would be able to sort of do so many things if I didn't get help around the house. So I delegated some of the house chores to somebody else. At the beginning, I only had, say, somebody helping me out for 3 or 4 hours a week. And then as the business grew, I was able to hire more help. So for today's video, I want to talk about getting realistic on how much it takes out of somebody to take care of a home. It's ridiculous amounts of undervalued, unappreciated work. And I feel as though, we don't talk about the practical side of life that often, because it's so laborious and it takes so much energy, and it's like, nobody talks about it enough. And I obviously believe in women contributing to the workforce, but I also recognize how much work motherhood, pregnancy, nursing actually is. And until I respected all of that, and I respected housework, and I respected cooking and cleaning, and how much energy it took out of me, I couldn't outsource it and hire somebody else to do it. Or help me with it. The problem is that so many of us women feel so much guilt and shame about getting help. And it also depends on what type of community you're from. Like, some communities really frown upon women getting help that they need, and so it becomes much harder to break that barrier for you to sort of delegate some of the chores to somebody else. When I first hired somebody to help me out around the house, I really didn't want to tell anybody because I knew the judgment that would come my way, and I guess I wanted to protect myself from it. And so this is like years back, I think like 6 or 7 years ago. Somebody came over to my house, and I think it was my daughter's friend's mom or something, and she came into my house and it was extremely clean, and there was this amazing food cooked in the house, and I just finished a full day's of work as well. And she came in and she was like, wow, how come you can do everything? I don't understand. Oh my gosh, you're so perfect. And she was acting like, she looked really baffled, like she couldn't figure out why she couldn't do it as well. And I remember at that time, I had to make a decision in my mind, like, should I tell her that I got help or not? Because I knew she might kind of be the type that I was trying to avoid judgment from. Or, should I tell her that I got the help? Or shall I just sort of pretend that I did it all? Because, sometimes women, we want to be admired by other women. And so I really had to make a decision then and ask myself, do I want to be the woman that wants to be admired by other women? Or do I want to be the type of sister that gives other women permission to get the help that they need as well? And so from then on, I started telling women all the time that I get help, and there's no way that I would be able to do so many things on so many fronts unless I had help around the house. So, and over time, that sort of gave other women permission to get the help that they need as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the things that prevent women from getting help that they need. So the first one is I don't have the money. And I obviously don't know what your financial situation is, but I would like to say that a lot of times when I've heard women say, oh, I don't have the money, I see them spend a lot of money on their kids and extracurricular activities and, even nice clothes or expensive vacations. The question I would really like to ask yourself is that, do you really think that you don't have the money, or do you think that you're not worth spending the money on? The other thing that prevents other women from getting help is that you think it doesn't take as much time, and you think it should be easier than it actually is. Like, I see women in my practice say all the time, oh, it only takes me 20 minutes to do the laundry, it only takes me 15 minutes to do the dishes, I can do it all, it's really not that much work. And they're not really calculating how, at the end of it all, it really adds up to be their whole week, and it adds up to be a lot of time. And so when it comes to women trying to do it all, what I often find in my practice is that you end up sacrificing the important things in life, like the intangible things in life, like spending time with your spouse or listening to your kids tell a story about what happened at school. All the things that you can't touch, those are the things that usually get sacrificed when you have so much going on. Okay, so let's do this in a nutshell. Motherhood and housework is more than a full-time job, and it takes an immense amount of time and energy, but until we recognize and give ourselves credit for it, we will never be able to get the help that we need. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and see you next Wednesday. Take care. Bye.